Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox show. I'm your host, Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and today's show is PEMF and viruses. And this is a live Q&A, everyone, and this is with Larry Langdon, a very brilliant man with a very big heart. And I'm going to tell you something. To get a very brilliant person with a big heart, and he's also a humanitarian, and I'm going to show you this today, that he developed an unbelievable PEMF unit, which I believe is the world's best PEMF unit. And guess what? Compared to all the other units that I know of, okay, this unit is probably about 1/3 the cost. So this is not a sales pitch. I'm just trying to tell you that we need to be able to get really great energy medicine out to the public and be able to get protocols that people can take their power back. And that's what I'm talking about today. You know, everybody's so worried about viruses and bacteria and fungus and worms, and I can understand that. But understand something, okay? The inner terrain dictates everything. So what if you can find a device, a PEMF device, that brings you back to the earth frequency and creates that within your body? Then you're going to be talking about balance. Anyways, Larry is a testament to the effectiveness of his own creation. Look at Larry was once diagnosed with Lyme disease that he was bedridden for a long time, and it actually broke him, like it's breaking a lot of people. What happens when people get disease? What happens when they get sick? Well, their finances go right down the drain. They lose their finances. They lose their passion for life. They lose their self-worth. Look, Larry has taken his power back, and he is here to tell us his story today. So, but before we begin the show, understand something, okay? As Louis Pasteur said, the bug is nothing, the terrain is everything, all right? But with today, we've got people that are creating bugs, believe it or not, that they should never be messing with. And then we've got people today that do not know how to create the perfect day nutritionally, or on a detox level, or on an emotional level. And guess what? Wherever you vibrate is going to dictate what lives in you. So if you want to send these parasites packing, then you've got to raise your vibration. And as Albert Einstein said, energy medicine is the future. And today we're going to be talking about the future because it is here. Okay, so let's begin the show. Hello, Larry.
Hey, doctor.
How you doing, my friend?
Doing well. Just better than ever, actually. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting younger because I try to use the PMF as often as possible. Hey, it's true what you said about Lyme people being depressed and so on. The number one cause of death with Lyme people is suicide. And it's just devastating. And we got statistically over half the country has Lyme disease. They just don't know it yet. Spirochetes are in everything. Anyway, you go ahead and ask me anything, and I will answer. If you have questions from people, I'll answer those.
All right.
I love research. I'll do research for people, and it's really amazing what people come back to me about what works, what doesn't, and it's just the coolest thing. It's like doing a study, $1 billion study, and it's like all coming to me, and it's just cool. Anyway, go ahead.
Excellent, my friend. So everybody just know that this is a Q&A. This is live. We are actually here. And you can send your questions in. I've got my phone. You must have heard it ding maybe just a couple minutes ago. So ding dong, get your questions on and send them in and put them underneath Facebook, underneath YouTube, or send them into Intercom. And we're going to answer these questions here for you today. And understand something, everyone. I know there's a lot going on out there. So just know this. Just breathe. You're much bigger than this. And put a smile on your face. And let's have the best day of our life. Okay? All right? Because guess what? Whether we want to believe this or not, every day we get to start all over again. And guess what? I don't know if you believe this, but we are eternal. So every day is a practice run to get it perfect. And that perfectness that we're looking for, okay, is about finding our authentic self and knowing that our power is in the present moment. Okay, so let's get started. Send your questions in if you'd like. Now, right off the bat, Larry, I have not read this, everyone, so bear with me. This here is some questions from Susan, and she has one of your elements, okay? She purchased this from us, all right? Hi, Darrell. Thank you and Larry for answering my question as time allows. When you have multiple medical conditions like dry eye, bone spurs, arthritis, neuropathy, etc., is it best to just treat one at a time per day, or can you do more than one? Let's start off there. But before we start back to Larry, I want to tell you that this lady, about a year and a half ago, was at her wit's end. And let me tell you something, and you need to get this, everyone, okay? At the Doc of Detox, all right, we know what we're doing. And the reality is that we have so many people that have tried everything, gone everywhere, spent tens of thousands of dollars, even like $50,000 to $100,000. And when they get to us, we create the perfect day for them on an emotional and physical level. And we use energy medicine to get them right there, right away. Now understand something. Everything is a frequency. So yes, diet is important. What you drink and what you think is important. But guess what? Everything you eat and drink leaves the body. The only thing that stays behind, doesn't matter how much you paid for the supplement, whether you got stem cell therapy, doesn't matter what you're talking about. It's only the frequency that's left behind. Everything else gets peed and pooped out and sweat out. So understand that. So what we're after is we're after for high vibrational frequencies and on a constant, so that we can recreate a new environment right down to the mitochondria, RNA, DNA level. So what do you think of the first question, Larry?
Okay, so question is, can you have multiple symptoms? Should you treat each one individually? I think you could treat a bunch of it at a time. It depends. We need to group them. We need to do some kind of analysis. And like, for instance, you could run the blood sweep program and you would get clean blood. You would start facilitating, ions going, nutrition going to where it needs to go, and uncoagulating the blood, boosting ATP, just your cellular level energy with just like even one PEMF session. Problem is multiple, when you go to the doctor and you have multiple symptoms, the mainstream medicine is teaching doctors to, if you have multiple symptoms, they go, let me write you a script. This is what is being taught. Let me write you a script. Go see your shrink. And this is what how Lyme people are being treated. And it doesn't even make sense. It's not even logical to me, because you get bit by a tick, you can get dozens of pathogens. Typically you get, Bartonella and Borrelia, and that's going to be multiple symptoms. And now there are like about 400, we're working on 500 things, but to treat, but using PEMF, and you would not believe the discoveries. But to answer the question though, you could be starting with blood frequencies that clean up the blood. You will get better faster just from having clean blood, because now you've boosted your immune system and your cellular level energy. There's some other things you could do, like if you have fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, you can treat those individual areas with like in the osteo sweep, which is soft tissue and bones. We have the osteo sweep, and Darrell has it too. So anyway, to answer the question, yeah, you could start out just doing a general treatment, and you will get mileage, a lot of mileage, more than you can get with a petrochemical.
So what you're saying, Larry, is that it's better off to do the blood sweep. And if you only did the blood sweep and you never did anything else, well, of course, we're going to affect our whole body, everywhere in the body. And then once you're feeling stronger and you feel good about that, you could add on other frequencies. Because I think you can have up to 8 frequencies on the sentient element, correct?
Yeah, you can do 8 at a time. With the app. Yeah.
So, but the reality is that more is not always better. So the reality is more is not always better. So everybody be gentle and loving to yourself. And the thing is, you're not going to hurt yourself. But let's say you were doing the blood sweep, and then you did the osteo sweep, and then you did a frequency for migraines. You add them on gently, and you take your time with it. And you know what? And when you add something to it, you should always go with a short time span at the beginning until your body says, hey, I'm good with this. I'm comfortable for this. Understand, everybody, when you get these sentient elements and you start working with them, they are so easy to use and they work right off your phone. And understand that we have 3 people here at the office that are completely trained, so we will always be answering your questions. So every question matters, and when people get involved in this, so what are you doing? You're trying to find the right recipe. You're trying to find the right combination for your body. Am I right there, Larry?
Yeah, and you could do it. You can target individual things, and it's amazing what we've discovered. And there's studies that support, like over 20,000 studies that support targeting individual things, not just PMF, and it includes the coronavirus now. So, um, and it works with nutrition. So if you're doing the right nutrition and you use this, you'll get, your knee pain can go away and within the hour. People that couldn't walk up and down stairs can do that, but it comes back slowly, within 72 hours. So you kind of need to do PMF. You need to have one in your home because it's future. It's the future proof of medicine because you can start dealing with so many other aspects in your family. Um, all just I can't even explain how many things you could treat. It's over 500 actually.
Very
That
good. Her next question is, when I run some healing frequencies, the amps are under 1 and the frequency light does not light up. Is the treatment still effective?
Yeah, it is the at low frequency that, or actually at any low power, no matter what frequency that meter might blink, or the frequency meter will blink. But if you have it on 1 amp, it's telling you what the power is. So get used to setting the power. You kind of want to go as high as you can without things warming up. And it depends, this is kind of open. What I tell people is that you kind of have to experiment. Like if you have Lyme, it takes high power, 1 coil, all the power can go into that 1 coil, and you run the Lyme plasmid sweep. If you're trying to do an osteo sweep, you can run half power. If you try to do with blood sweep, maybe 1/3 power is of the max that you can do. So what I would recommend is kind of play around with it and look things up. Do your own. I mean, this is all new. Even though there's 20,000 studies have been around for a long time, it's kind of repressed for 100 years. Like one of the studies, 1,100 pathogens was taken off the internet. And 1,100 pathogens with all their debilitating frequencies was taken off the internet. And it had a lot of information, and we cross-checked it, with other studies. And it's a true document. The number of genomes, strains, the frequencies, it's all, even though the whole document has been taken off the internet, there's still individual things that you can go look up and compare that. And so that gives credibility to this document with a study of 1,100 pathogens and all their debilitating frequencies.
And that's something that we can help you with, because we have in the manual, which you'll see, everyone, you can click on the link and you can download the actual sentient element manual. And we have lots of areas where you can go and just download your frequency. We've got lots of frequencies already listed in the manual for you. And if you take a look at it, you'll see that, like anything else, it's if you can work a phone, you can work the sentient element. So that's the deal. So we want to we want to be able to take nature and bring it home and empower it. And that's actually what Larry's been able to do. Larry, I'm going to move on to the next one.
Okay.
When I run some of the healing frequencies, number 1, some frequencies I have tried cause the unit to go to a frequency of 999 or maybe higher. Should you avoid using those frequencies?
No, that's just what that meter can read. So it's there as a guide. So it tells you that it's working. So if you go 999, you went over 1,000, and you can go like the 2,100 to 2,300 is like a cancer range, and it won't show up on the meter. It'll show up as 999.
So
And
that
then
it's a cancer range for helping to go in there and support the body to deal with cancer, not give a person cancer. So I just want everybody to be clear about that.
right, right.
Okay.
Let me explain something about the power versus, low frequencies, high frequencies. The Earth field has been pretty strong for a number of years, and it has been healing for plant life and animal life. Um, and these high frequencies in the gigahertz range, like 2.4 gigahertz, they're really destructive on the cell. They're intracellular destruction. So when you have these low frequencies, they're kind of vibrational. It's like the table that this is on. This is like the spirochete for the pathogen, for instance, this thing, and you're vibrating the table. Well, the table is vibrating. Could be your cell. It's not really doing much, but this could get moved around a lot. In other words, um, the bigger the cell, the more it. Well, the bigger the what's the cell? 600 microns or something, but a spirochete's a micron wide. So you're tuning the frequency to the cell, and all these frequencies can be pretty high, but the ones that are very healing. Okay, for instance, you have what the 2.4 gigahertz is doing, which is Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi, and some of the phones are super high 5G. They're very damaging because they're small wavelengths. They go inside the cell. Larger wavelengths, they just look like something's getting jiggled. And chemically, we're making ionophores or facilitating ionophores to go through the cell wall. Those are the ionophores of nutrition or whatever it could be, is going into the cell wall. I want to talk about something really cool that was just discovered, and Trump announced it at the White House this morning. So, and this is big. So, to explain this better is you're getting this hypercoagulation of blood using Bluetooth in your ear, or I can't move too much. The screen changes color. So basically, high frequencies coagulate blood, and the earth fields and their harmonics uncoagulate the blood. It's extremely healing. In other words, you have cells that we're stuck together like stacks of coins, and now they're floating free, and they're going to carry more oxygen, more nutrients. And that's just the bottom line to this whole thing.
Okay, thank you. You recommend to me to end each session with 15 minutes of the blood sweep program to clean out toxins from the treatment. Can you run the blood sweep program at the same time as another treatment frequency to accomplish this, or does it have to be done separately?
You could, and you could plot this out mathematically. You could just draw the waveforms on a piece of paper. If you're not engineering, it's harder to do, but you could run like a blood sweep or a constant. One of my favorite, we got a feedback or something. Okay. What's that echo sound, you guys? Someone did something there on your end. You okay? Technical difficulty here. You there?
It's all good.
Okay, so it stopped. So, yeah, you could run 10 hertz is your typical PEMF discovered frequency, and then it turns out that 9.6 is better than 10 hertz, and it's closer to the Schumann frequency. But of 7.83 is Schumann. It's a natural Earth field. But you could run 300. The line plasma sweep is from 300 to maybe 340, and that only gets about a third of the Lyme problems, like the hatchlings and things that shed off the spirochete, are debilitated with those in that range. And we're doing more work on this, and we have microscopy on it. We have some really cool stuff, and it's all going to get posted someday. So, to some place before. Well, we're going to do it soon. Just put it that way.
So everybody, I want you to understand too that when he's talking, just understand that the actual unit isn't complicated. So you're listening to a lot of new information that we're not used to listening to. So when he's describing it, so make sure, Larry, that you keep it really simple for everybody out there. And I'm talking about me too. And the reality is this, that we don't need to know all of that, because all you have to do is put the actual frequency in your phone and then run the frequency. Okay. So I have another
Pretty much.
question here for you. Should you run one or more than one frequency that all address the same medical condition at the same time, or is one frequency adequate? Sounds like maybe one would be adequate, don't you think, Larry?
Again, it depends, but you should just do one and target. You can target and dial in things with just one. But for some general stuff, you can run multiple. And this is part of the discovery that's being made, is that maybe you just play a song into your coil and that's healing. Isn't music healing, just going and relaxing and listening to it? This is where we're headed. Someday you'll be just send some healing sounds, and maybe they're in a song with certain instruments. So
Yeah, and
that's where we're
you can actually play a song into the coil right now and do that, can't you? So
absolutely.
the music you love, just put it into the coil and let that frequency and that vibration go right into your body.
Yeah, you could do a search and find all these songs, and you could just look up almost anything now. But stick with us. We're going to guide you. We have discovered things that are very empirical, based on real National Institute of Health studies that are working, and that's what we kind of want to stick to right now, because we don't want to get pounded by health departments or whatever and say this is magic. No, here's the study, and this is what's working, and we want to show you that.
And
It's very
under,
empirical.
yeah, and understand everybody that if our team can help you to get the answers that you totally want clear enough, then we will get Larry on the line. But we have a whole team here, and if we have to, we'll get Larry on the line. But we're always going to get your answers to you, because guess what? This is the future of medicine. It's always been about frequency. Whether you eat a donut or an apple, which one has the frequency to heal? So, Larry, here's another question. In general, how long should a treatment session be per condition to be the most effective? 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour?
Well, I would say it depends again on what the condition is, but 30 to minutes to an hour, twice a day in some cases, because, and the reason I say twice a day is because the nutrition can be bioavailable again in about 12 hours. So you could keep doing that, maybe at least a half an hour twice a day. If you're doing a kill frequency, you're going to have some endotoxins. You're going to have these cytokines of the pathogen die off, and your liver has to detox this. So really, the first thing you got to really start learning how to do is detox, and the blood sweep has been pretty good at that. So that good blood's going to now flow through your liver, and it's going to pull out. It's easier for the liver to work if you have cleaner
Yeah,
blood
it'll
anyway.
start flushing the liver out. So we'll have a liver flush going on. Um, Dr. Wolfe, is the Lyme sweep frequency you have in your manual on your website in the EMF /light section on your website? Uh, can I use this even if I do not have Lyme's, and should I?
Well, you can. It may not be necessary. The Lyme plasmid. Well, actually, there's other cross pathogens that cross those frequencies. So yeah, it's probably not harmful, but you might be sitting there wasting your time. I don't know. It depends on. I would seriously look at, if you think you're totally healthy and you just want to stay healthy, go to the gym and work out, do some post workout frequencies, like the osteo is a really great one for that. So anyway, I don't know how to answer that exactly, but that's what I would do.
All right, great. Um, so, is it okay to use the sentient element for longer than an hour? Will that harm the unit or you?
I've gone 18 hours and just to see what it would do, and nothing, you know.
Hey, listen,
Um,
I've gone 10 hours, so, and used the
yeah,
unit, so I know that much.
FDA declassed it or made it a class where it's non-harmful, non-invasive. So knock yourself out. I mean, try to knock yourself out. I mean, it does. It's every way these earth fields support health,
So
and
try to
you
knock the
can't.
bugs out. Let's put it that way, right? Okay.
Oh well, the blood. Excuse me. The blood sweep can actually kill, and that sweep can kill parasites in the gut. So you could do that as much as you want, and I
Right.
don't think the frequencies kill your gut flora.
Of course they don't. What is the difference between a sweep and a non-sweep program? Is one more effective?
Well, the theory is the bugs can be slightly different sizes, and maybe the nucleus of the bug is a little different. Um, so the frequency can be wobbling a little bit. So we do a sweep, and it turns out like the osteo sweep is based on a bunch of studies where for bone healing, when they show different frequencies, they show it's 76 for one bone healing and 74, and I mean they're in the 70 range. So I just say sweep the whole thing from 71 to 79, or and then I rounded it to 70 to 80. So it seems to be the most mileage we're getting out of PMF is the blood sweep in osteo and the Lyme plasmid sweep. And there's a few others too. We can do candida. There's a guy who boosts. He says we can boost your brain or your IQ by 10% running an alpha sweep. And then the government's using kind of a super soldier program where they're using. I don't know what they're doing because it's not going to be public, but they're doing it. And then the pilot or the pilots, who are actually mostly drone pilots, have a little coil on the top of their head that the Air Force has done. So they, instead of drinking a whole lot of sugary Coke all day long, they want to be alert. And those, turns out those microcurrents that it generates is extremely healing. And I don't know. There's studies on this. I just haven't had time to look everything up. I'm overwhelmed. You would not believe what's being discovered. So anyway, I'm going to shut up because you got a lot more questions.
Oh yeah, we got tons of questions here, Larry. So we see if we can get through them. I don't even know if we'll get through them all today, but I did get a question here, and just so everybody knows, this is the kickoff. All right. So understand something. Larry's going to be coming back once a month, and when we can't keep up with the questions, then he'll be coming back once every 2 weeks. And if he can't keep up with the questions, he'll be coming back once a week to answer your questions, because this is what the Doc of Detox is about. It's about supporting everybody that has a sentient element from us. We're going to make sure that you know how to run this thing and that you are the master behind it. Okay. All right. You mentioned
I do the research.
you mentioned drinking tonic water and taking 100 milligrams of zinc before running the coronavirus frequency. How much tonic water should you drink daily? I'm sure I will have more questions as I continue.
Okay, so that's a really good question because it's gonna take maybe a week or more to build up the zinc through the cell wall, and so tonic water it's an ionophore. So is COQ10 tonic water. Look what's in it: quinine. What did the president say this morning? He talked about chloroquine, and then there's hydroxychloroquine, or whatever. However, there's a different derivative of the same thing. But it turns out you probably would have to drink about 3 of these a day. It's a lot of tonic water, and they only put 83 milligrams in here because they said it can cause harm. But the thing is, some pharmaceuticals getting rich, even though that was grandfathered in decades ago, right? For malaria, so you could have gin and tonic. I sent this video to a veterinarian doctor friend of mine, and he said, "Hey, what's the outtake of this is, hey, have more gin and tonic," is what he said. So, point is you've got to do an ionophore. It can be a quercetin. It could be COQ10. It can be quinine. It can be the prescription quinine is what they're using in China, and they have plummeted. The number of cases have just plummeted, and their treatment to everyone. And then Trump announced this morning. He said we're gonna be treating. I can't move or screws up the screen. We're gonna be treating the whole country with this. It looks like that's a short-term solution. So. And the FDA guy was right behind him, and he said, "Yeah, so this is what's going to happen like today," and because it's been proven by, even though the studies were in vitro, okay, not on a real person, the big data, the artificial intelligence that's been geared to this study is now, well, China studies, a lot of data there, a lot of data with South Korea, now France is doing it, and the data is proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that hydroxychloroquine is the best solution. and you can take like 400 to 600 grams a day, maybe 500 milligrams a day. And it's going to be, they're going to probably hand it out like candy, but you don't want to do more than than a gram a day. But here's what happens. You're better. You could be really baked with the corona advice, can hardly breathe. But if you start doing this, your recovery is around 2 to 10 days. So this has been proven. Um, but then we have another study using PEMF, and it's very ground again in vitro. But we have the studies, multiple studies, but there's one really good one, and that one study shows that you can coil at 50 hertz, and I'm not going to say the level of millitesla, but they say 20 millitesla, but there's it's not a total. There's some disinformation with that, and because they said the coils they use and the coils don't go that high, so ours does. But basically, you could coil the zinc ionophores ZN2 plus through the cell wall. It debilitates the coronavirus from replicating inside the cell, and then there's probably going to be a vaccine coming that stops that docking station onto the cell of the virus, so that won't go through the cell wall. So, but once that virus gets in the cell wall, it starts going crazy. Like thousands of those viruses can be replicating inside one cell, and then it pops open, and you just spread it. So this is why people are suffocating to death, and it turns out it's kind of attacking the lungs and the extremities of the lungs. And so in Italy, they now have more deaths in Italy than China. Okay, as of this morning, and so this is really good information. This proof too that this stuff is all working. Get the nutrition through the cell wall, or whatever you need through the cell wall, and there's endless studies now.
Well, that just proves that the PEMF is just going to help to deliver it that much faster. I have another question. How does the unit work with the app on a phone that is connected to the unit that has frequencies in a database? First of all, if I can just answer, you know what? You're going to put in the frequencies in the phone, and then it runs the frequencies for you. Is it changed to be different frequencies? Yeah, you've got different frequencies for different bugs, different parasites. And do they become resistant to it? No. That takes a long time. They have to morph, don't they? What do you think, Larry?
Yeah, it takes a while. It's not
a long time.
It takes a while.
Next question. Laura, is this similar to Rife? No, it's not similar, but Rife did have frequencies. Go ahead, Larry.
Well, Rife is a plasma. It's done through a plasma tube, and there's a carrier wave that makes that all work. And we don't do a carrier wave. What we do is it's a pure magnetic field, and it's a air coil. So there's no metal in there that can reflect back and come out shooting out with spikes. So it's an engineering standpoint, it's smooth, or you can do a square wave. It's not smooth, but you could do it's pretty grounded and pretty safe. As far as grounded, I don't mean earth ground, but I mean the studies show everything that you need. And so what was the first part of the question, though? I don't know if I answered it.
Okay, let me go back. Just as it's similar to Rife.
Oh, the difference is basically, yeah. So this is just magnetic only, and then Rife is a carrier wave and some other stuff. It's a plasma tube, and those frequencies go really super high. And I don't know if those are damaging or not. I mean, it's good if you're trying to kill a pathogen with Rife, and that works. And I actually, there's a lot of proof on that. But what we do is we take it's kind of what we're doing is natural. You're facilitating ionophores and ions through the cell wall, including nutrition, and your little biocomputers, 100 trillion of them, just kind of take over. It's more natural than having a petrochemical. So you're eating right. Okay, let me answer this a little better, because we have people that had joint problems like knee going out. They wobble in here, and I give them a demo. I put on their knee, since it's non-harmful, non-invasive, and you tell them about the contraindications, and I'll put it over the knee, or they will put it over the knee, and run it. And it works. And then, of course, it wears off, and within 72 hours, kind of wears off. But they do it again 72 hours later, let's say, and it didn't work as well. I go, well, are you taking the right nutrition? Are you taking glucosamine? Are you taking an osteo product? And so this is where we're at. We can generate that joint. Not me. I mean, I'm not a doctor. Okay, so I'm not doing this. I just make hardware. But it's cool because I get it tested out, and people give me feedback. People that buy it are giving me lots of feedback. And so I read the studies, I do the research. I love doing it's my favorite thing in life right now is do research. So if you have questions for next time, please give them to Dr. Wolfe. Um,
All right.
this
So,
is
but if I can say something to everyone, when Larry says he takes the coil and he puts it on the knee and then people come back, understand something. And this is where we are, and I really believe that we're more advanced than any other clinic in bodywork. When we teach you how to do the padding and clapping, when we teach you how to do advanced water fasting, when we teach you about the perfect day diet, and when we teach you how to do the Wolfe Non-Surgical and actually pull the scar tissue apart. Remember something, everybody's got knee problems because they've got inflammation, which create a scar tissue formation, displaced calcium, and crystallization. We get rid of that, and then we use the PEMF device that Larry's made. Well, you can just forget it. That person's going to turn around so fast. That's why, and when I say this, this isn't about a ploy, anybody, but that's why we're capable of giving a money back guarantee on our therapy that if you come in with a cane, you're not going to leave with the cane. It's as logical as that. I mean, the reason why the joints are stiff as a board because they're full of scar tissue. And guess what? Does anybody realize something? The body makes scar tissue when you're inflamed to what? To wall off the viruses that want to come and attack inflamed scar tissue. So scar tissue, the body will make tons of fibrin to try to wall in and lock down these viruses. So when we open up and start to release things, then the PMF comes in and does its job. Okay, so here we go with some questions. Hi, Doc. Hey, Larry. Question about 5G, the effect of 60 gigahertz on oxygen and blood. We know that with 60 gigahertz, it causes the electrons to spin too fast to be able to deliver the oxygen to the hemoglobin. Will the blood sweep combat effects of 5G? If so, how long at the cell level does it do this?
I can say that it does mitigate the high frequencies or damage, but I don't know exactly how. Again, being an engineer, I want to be able to say this is exactly how that works. All I know is it does work to mitigate the damage of high frequency. And you got to remember, 5G is a weapon. Came from military as a weapon, and it's about twice the 2.4 gigahertz, 2.4 something gigahertz. So it's in that gigahertz range where it can be very destructive. And it being a harmonic of the 2.46 or whatever that is, it is extremely damaging, and it can penetrate more. It doesn't travel as far. So here's the solution. What the technology is trying to do is they put more 5G out there, so you're going to be more surrounded by it. And I can feel it, by the way. I can feel it when I walk into this building where I'm at, because there's about a dozen 5G Wi-Fi's going in this building, and I feel it as soon as I walk through the door. So I coil for it, and it's gone, or just go walk around on the parking lot, and it goes away. But I don't know. Someone needs to really do some heavy research, and it can't be the paid by the cell phone companies research. It's got to be
Well, I think
independent.
I think what we're getting down to is like this. I mean, if you spend 80% of your day in a toxic way, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So yeah, we're getting toxins and negative frequencies that are making us toxic. But by using the PEMF device, the sentient element, you're nullifying that. And you know what? It's going to come down to this, everyone. Whether you decide to get a sentient element or not, or something else, you're going to want to get something else, because the war is actually on frequencies. The war is how are you going to create enough positive frequencies that you don't have so many negative changes in your body. And remember something, the lower you vibrate, the more that you invite the parasite party that's coming for you. Okay, next question. I've done research on Jason. I've done some research Some people using the PMF machines, running them for hours on the same location of the body. Is there a danger of using the machine too long? I think, Larry, I can already answer it. We already answered that, Jason. You must have just joined us because we're talking about how you can use the PMF device for hours. Correct, Larry?
Yeah, but there's some point where it's not going to really help you because you've
No,
already depleted
saturation.
nutrition. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be saturated. Oksana, can you run multiple frequencies at the same time? We already answered that. Up to 8. And guess what? Step by step. Remember what it is? Gentle baby loving steps. I'm going to try
Start out
this
slow.
frequency, right?
Yeah, start out slow. And yeah, baby steps and try to what we were trying to do is target. So it'd be one frequency and then we can expand that. Like I said, maybe it'll be some song you play and it's going to heal everything. One like just a few songs can do everything. That's where we're headed with this.
Thank you, Larry. And Emily, are the PEMF machines available to rent? Yes. If you call the office, we we have people that we rent them out to because they have conditions that they need to turn around. So they'll come to us and we will create what we call the perfect day protocol. And they will call us every few days and we're making tweaks to it. And by using the energy medicine, by getting on the perfect day protocol, by doing the advanced water fasting, by learning how to do the ultimate coffee enema, by doing and learning how to do the non-surgical work on yourself, we decided that yes, we wanted that for people because the faster we can get there, change the inner terrain, and create a new frequency that is one that's vibrant. Okay, next question. What is the cost of these units? The units are $3,700, and I won't mention any names here, anybody, but there are units that, for one thing, there is no unit as powerful as Larry's. I've done my homework, so I can tell you that. Remember, it's the driver. It delivers the message, and it delivers it more effectively than any device I've ever seen. And there's devices that are similar, and they cost around anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 to even $15,000, and they don't have the power to push the message into the body like I've seen with Larry's. Next question. Should we run detox frequencies and then remediating frequencies? Andrea.
Okay, so having experienced severe Lyme disease and MS symptoms, I would say the first thing you really need to learn how to do is detox. And that includes like Epsom salt bath and coffee enema. And I'm going to say that those two things always gave me the most relief. You have endotoxins, you have mold, you have all these toxins that are going to build up inside you, inside the cell even. And the best way to do that is keep your blood healthy. Doctors today, research doctors today say if you can have healthy blood constantly, you could live to be 200. That's a healthy person.
That's the key.
So, yeah. So, detox, keep your blood healthy, and then
circulation.
Circulation first, and detox and all that. Then you attack the pathogen, and now you know what's going to go on. Your terrain is going to be manageable.
Great. How can I get this app? Oh, well, first of all, it's from Pagita. Pagita, you can see right at the side here, whether you're in YouTube or Facebook, you can go right to the link and you can download the manual. And then if you still have questions, just call us at 855-900-4544 extension 5. And we'll get that for you if you do have trouble. Because you know what? Anything new with new technology, people will go, oh, I can't figure this out. I can't figure that out. And then we'll go, do. And you'll go, oh my gosh, don't call yourself names. Because guess what? When I started working with this and then doing the phone and the frequencies, I'll tell you, I was all thumbs. So don't worry about it. It's just like when I got my new iPhone, I was like, oh my gosh. But you'll be surprised how fast the learning curve comes. And then you'll just go doot, and boom, that's it. And you'll be that quick. Is this better than a Beamer? Can I answer that first, Larry? I want to tell you something right now. First of all, Beamer is very overly priced. I'm going to tell you. The Beamer can't touch this with a 10-foot pole. And I don't mind talking to Beamer and having Beamer come on. Okay? The reality is that Beamer will increase the microcirculation in the body approximately around 33-35%. And I will tell you that even an Avicen that we sell that increases microcirculation, it'll increase it by 66%. An Avicen is $3,500. A Beamer is like, I don't know, right now it's probably around $6,000 to $8,000. And no, a Beamer can't touch the sentient element, and it cannot, because it's only got a limitation that it can do. There is no limit to what Larry has created. Larry, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, Beamer. I've already measured the Beamer, and I'm afraid to compare because it's so weak compared to what we have. But again, we can dial ours in to whatever power level you want.
Yeah.
It's like It's like just limited frequency. Beamer is, we're a magnitude more powerful than the Beamer, and
and if I can say something, there's another problem. The Beamer is a multi-level marketing company, and the price is outrageous for the product. And don't get me wrong, everybody. I know some people have made a lot of money in multi-level, but guess what? It's pretty gun-ho. Raw, raw, raw. Well, there's no multi-level here. And if there was a multi-level stuck on Larry's product, it wouldn't be $3,700. Guess what? You'd be paying us $12,000 if you wanted to take that unit home. And I'm telling you, I'm not making it up. I'm not exaggerating. So that's the bottom line. So we're talking about Larry, who has invented something, and he says, you know what? I'm a fair man. And then you talk about the Doc of Detox. We need to get these out to people. So let's move on. Larry, go ahead. Do you have something you want to say?
Well, I know there's a $40,000 unit that's less comparable than what we have, but it comes with a nice chair. So just keep that in perspective. You could you got to buy your own app. It's super expensive. It's $2, and it's easy to get started with it. And we have screenshots. Darrell's going to have the screenshot. All of it's out there, and
we've got it. We've already got everything you need. So you know what? Let's put it this way. We'll put our money where our mouth is, and we'll show you that you're talking about the best equipment and the best technology out there. All right? So Sarah from Facebook, is PEMF harmful? We already answered that, Sarah. Sorry, but we're going to move on. John from YouTube, is PEMF therapy FDA approved?
Absolutely. It's numerous things.
We've already talked about that too. Jennifer from YouTube, how long does it take for PEMF to work? Well, Jennifer, before Larry takes this, I want to say something. It depends on what your mind is like. It depends on what your diet's like. It depends on what you do, what your bad habits are, and what your good habits are. And because everything works together, but understand something. You want to say something different like this. How long does it take for the sentient element? Well, it's a lot shorter than any other PEMF device that I know. Larry, go ahead.
Well, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
It has a lot to do with how you're treating your body initially. I mean, if you smoke today in today's environment, you're dead.
Yeah,
you're gonna die.
That's the truth. That's the truth. You hit it on the head. You know what? If you smoke today, you're dead. If you're an alcoholic today, you're fried. So that's it. You know what? Today it's called the awakening or the baking. Okay. Sam from Intercom, how often can you use PEMF?
In a duration, or I mean, you could use it the rest of your life. You probably want to use it the rest of your life, and you want to future-proof. It's like the new insurance for medicine. So if you break a bone, you could. If I go skiing in Schweitzer up here, and I need to go because they're going to close soon. If I go skiing there, and I break my leg, I'll be back skiing again in 2 to 3 weeks. That's how much I know about how to heal my broken bones.
And if I can say something to add to what Larry just said, guess what, guys? If you lived in a perfect world that didn't have blue light, it didn't have 3G, 5G, if it didn't have wireless, if it didn't have Bluetooth, that's the frequencies you're getting from Larry's equipment, the sentient element. That's what the sentient element does. It gives you the earth frequencies the way it used to be before we had all this amazing technological breakthroughs that are breaking us in half. Okay, Kevin from Facebook. Can anyone use a sentient element? Absolutely. Do you mind? Go ahead with that, Larry, if you want.
I mean to say the answer is yes. I
Yeah.
mean,
Donna from Facebook. How much? Okay, we already did that one, guys. Rachel from Intercom. What are the side effects of magnetic therapy?
there's probably some contraindications. You cannot have an implant or metal. Looping metal can heat up. My glasses can heat up if I put on my head, and you'll feel it heat up. So if you have a pins in your leg or back or something, you probably shouldn't be using it on your back. Um,
Yeah, but you could
it's,
still use it. You just don't put it right on the area, correct?
yeah, exactly, because you keep it a foot away from metal.
That's it.
Um,
A foot away from metal. There you go. Jim from YouTube. Does PEMF reduce inflammation? Oh, I'll tell you, does it ever? But I'll let Larry take it away. Go ahead, Larry.
well, a question to that, an answer to that is absolutely. People that are in just chronic pain, I've seen miracles happen, instant healing for that, for pain. It's actually instant. Um, Fibromyalgia, a lot of women get fibromyalgia that have Lyme, and you just put the coil on there, run the soft tissue, the osteosweep on that, and you got pain going away. Now it can come back because you still have Lyme, and but you're being treated for something. Now you probably should look into killing it. You should get a, if people that think they have Lyme should get an IGeneX test. I want to explain something here before we move on. This is the most important thing because the system is broken and the tests are flawed. The tests are flawed for Bartonella. 80% of the, actually 88% of the country has a zoonotic disease. So with that said, it's mostly Bartonella and Borrelia. And I have doctors say, the research is, doctors are saying this. So, statistically, you're going to have a zoonotic pathogen, Ehrlichia, Babesia, anaplasms, mycoplasms. There's the two most common, Borrelia and Bartonella. Bartonella Hansley is the highly destructive one. So, what's the answer here? I don't know. It's you're sick already. Learn how to get a proper test. Go if you do an antibody test at your local hospital or local doctor, they're going to go to the local labs, and they're going to do an antibody test, and you may not have antibodies for it. Maybe for 10 years you won't have antibodies. Who knows? They don't know how far out that could be. But if you do an IGeneX test, it's a PCR DNA test, and it's highly accurate. So you got to really find a doctor who will send your blood to IGeneX, and that's really that's the flaw that's going on. This is the disinformation by design, by the is it IDSA, not ILADS is the group that's covering this, and the IDSA is what's broken. I'm going to just put that out there. And do your research, Google all this. Everything I say can be Googled and verified. So just be sure you get a proper test. That's all I can say for anything.
Okay, thank you. Peter from Facebook says, I am going to purchase a unit today if I can after the show. What can I do? Also, I'm new to this. Well, how can I get started on creating the perfect day? Peter, just email me at quickstart@docofdetox. I give you 7 empowering steps. Just follow those steps. And then my extension is number 5. If you stumble or you want to book a consult with one of my nutritionalists, you can get a perfect day consult. Or if you've got a real chronic problem, then you'll want to do it with me. All right? So that's what I would do. And
start with nutrition.
Pardon?
It starts with nutrition because this only works with nutrition.
Yeah. You know what? It's like this, okay? You start doing the right things, taking the right nutrients, and what happens is, and then you electrically charge them with the right frequencies. Okay. Susan from Facebook. What can the sentient element energy medicine device treat? There you go. That is like right from A to Z, and I mean from A to Z. It treats whatever frequency that you can come up with. How many frequencies can they put in, and how many conditions? They can do everything from A to Z. Am I right, Larry?
You can, yeah, you can, and you could only run 8 frequencies at simultaneously, but you could save, I think, an unlimited number of journeys that you would put together, frequency sweeps, and you can, the, there's videos out there, and Dr. Wolf has them all, showing you how to create a journey and save it away. Yeah, it's like it's wide open. The only thing is we're limited to 22,000 hertz. This unit can go. The coil goes to 2,500, but we've done some tests from feedback from people who got rid of their pain at 10,000 hertz. So it's still higher, even at, I didn't believe it myself, but somebody said, oh, we went at 10,000 hertz, got rid of our pain. And several people. I go, well, it's not designed to go that high. So I put it on the bench and I measured with a Gauss meter. I go, oh, this is stronger than the Earth's ambient field, so it probably would work, and it does. So I don't want to spec it as engineer. I don't want to spec 10,000, but we're designed from like 2 hertz to 2,500, and that's most of the range. That's within the range of most things you want to treat. It's the most powerful in that range. So basically anything. I mean, anything that's up to 22,000 hertz, and really you don't want to go that high. So there's more work for us to do, more research, and we're gonna be disclosing it. So stay tuned to what's going on. This is really big.
All right, Misty, where can we buy the element? So what you do is you go to docofdetox.com, you go to EMF/light, okay, EMF/light, you click on there, and that's where you can buy the sentient element. And then when you buy the sentient element, make sure you call in. You'll also get the manual. The manual comes with it. It's a download. But we want you to call in. If you purchase this, I want you to call me, extension 5, because we want to make sure that we know that you've purchased. We want to make sure we're there to totally support you, not just with the sentient element, all the way around the board. I want to make sure we're supporting you about your diet. Go over some things with you. So anybody who buys a sentient element, this is not something to catch you. It's just if you're going to invest into something, I want it to work the best. So I want you to give me a call. Let me know you bought it, and then I want to spend some time with you on Facebook or just on the phone or on YouTube or on Skype, and let's go over your diet. Let's go over some things so you don't trip yourself up. Let's try to create the perfect day for you. Try to give you the proper guidance so that you can harness the power of the sentient element, okay? All right. Can I use both coils on different parts of my body? Yeah, everybody, there's 2 coils. You can get 2 coils with this. So, anyways, I'm going to let Larry answer that. Coils on different parts of my body. Also, does the manual have a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma frequency? Let's put it this way. There is a frequency for that, and we will be giving you enough information that you'll be able to find the frequencies that you actually want. Can you answer about the coils?
Yeah, we could hook up 2 coils. Again, they're like in series, like resistors are in series. If you get those who understand that, so you could set them out, lay on them, or however you want to use them in 2 different parts of your body. They're going to run the same frequency. It's just the power split between the 2 coils. And Lyme people are buying 2 coil systems because they have Lyme in their family. The kids, they can sit and watch a movie on the couch, and they're just sharing the coil around, running Lyme sweep and blood sweep stuff. And the coil will get warm running the blood sweep for long durations, but you're probably good on low power for what you need on splitting between 2 coils for the duration of the movie, an hour and a half or so, if you wanted to do that.
And if I could say something, everyone, Larry really talks about Lyme's a lot because, well, it's personal. It's a personal issue. I mean, it almost took him down. It almost ended his career, almost ended his life. But the reality is guess what? We're not just talking about Lyme's here. We're talking about any different type of infections, aren't we, Larry?
Yeah, I found exact frequency for Pseudomonas aeruginosus, common hospital weaponized infection. Usually it causes a UTI, and you can go blind from that. So, by the way, I have perfect vision. These are just reading glasses, but I just have them so I can read down here.
No, you just want to look real smart, right?
Yeah, Does it make me look smarter?
Oh, I think so. I think so. You know, you look like you could be like one of those science guys. So that's what I
I don't know.
think.
Anyway, what was the other part of that? I had a thought and I just lost it.
Okay, well, while you're getting your thought, I just want to. Veronica is saying, where can I get the manual? Well, Veronica, what you're going to do is you can go to Doc of Detox, go right into our library. Okay, it's right at the top. Click on the library, and you'll go to the Energy Medicine Guide, and you'll find the Sentient Element manual right inside the Energy Medicine Guide. Because inside the Energy Medicine Guide, you're also going to find Larry's last show we did on Wednesday, yesterday, and then you're going to find even the Q&A. It'll be in there too. We'll be putting the Q&A in there because where our energy medicine guide is where we put everything energy medicine, and that's in our library. And you just go to Doc of Detox front page, click on library, okay? Or you can take a look right here to the, I guess it's to the right or above on YouTube, and you just click on the link there, and it'll take you right to the manual. All right, Larry, did you figure out what you wanted to remember?
No, it was just the last part of that same question from before.
Sure, go for it, man.
No, I don't know. You have to say the question again.
Okay, well,
Two-part. There's a
okay,
two-part. Move on. It's okay.
I'll come back to that one. How's that? Doug from YouTube, can PEMF help with pain?
Oh God, it's like the low-hanging fruit of PMF. Not 100%, but we've seen miracles happen, just like instant healing for pain. The answer it would be yes.
Okay, and we were talking about the two coils, my friend. Remember, he said, "Can I put two coils on my body?" So,
Yeah, there's something after that, but just it's.
just about the Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh yeah, my brother, my younger brother died 10 years ago of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I haven't even looked it up, but I know that it can be treated. The low frequencies move the lymph system around, and it's starting to detox that. So I would like to believe if you clean your blood up, that he had some liver problems too because he drank a lot, but he ended up getting a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I think that's highly curable today. In fact, I got to say this. I think all cancers are extremely easy to cure. And I'm going to use the cure word because the powers that be do not want it cured. And it might be as simple as like changing your diet, stop eating sugar and gluten, and eat the food that facilitates. I mean, we have these 100 trillion little biocomputers. All they do naturally is just need the right stuff. And you can get that through the cell wall. The little computer knows what to do with the ions. This is like ion computer. Um, it's too simple. And I think some people are going to be really pissed off in the near future when they find out for decades we've been lied to and their loved ones have been murdered, seriously murdered by a chemical that kills every cell of their body, and they died from chemo. It's a 2.6% chance of survival rate if you do chemo. Whereas there's an ultrasound that gives you 94% survival rate. We'll be talking about that in the future too.
Yeah, we'll be talking about a lot of subjects, everybody.
Do you
And
want
just
2.6 or do you want 94? What are the odds there? I mean, I'm an engineer. The 2.6 is so close to zero, you have a 0% chance. So people, the powers that be, knock it off. Quit cheating the people. Quit racketeering off the suffering of the human race. That's what I'm going to say about this, because they are.
all right. So Shannon says from Facebook, is it true that the sentient element PMF technology was approved by the FDA 40 years ago and is now being used for healing of fractured bones?
Yeah, absolutely. It's right on it's on Wikipedia. It's out there. You got to kind of do your own homework here. And I mean, anything I say, you could look up. Okay. So yeah, FDA approved 40 years ago for bone healing, and it works really great on soft tissue, the joints, the just tissue issues.
Okay, Carl from Facebook, how does the sentient element PMF work at the cellular level? Can you please explain it in layman's terms? There you go.
Oh, it's there. The studies are endless, and we're going to have a video on that. I know we'll release it to you, doctor, so you'll have it. but the latest from about 8 days ago, we basically figured out the CV19, coronavirus 19, and the way that it works is it facilitates an ionophore. An ionophore is like the ion that can make it through the cell wall, and there's these little channels. They're called an ion channel. And there's other names for that. You could actually Google ions through the cell membrane. You'll find like 230 million search results, and you'll go, "What the hell? Why the hell aren't we looking at this more closely?" So, this morning Trump announces, "Oh, we got it figured out an ionophore," and I mean he didn't say that. He said, "We've the big data with China and South Korea and now France says that." They're using the hydroxychloroquine. Is that how I say it? Yeah. So that's out now. We discovered this a week ago, and now Trump is saying. I mean, some other doctors did make the research, but it's all in vitro. So the problem is, it really hasn't been studied on the humans. So
Can we move on to the next one?
yeah,
Stacy
yeah.
from YouTube. How easy is it to use the app? Well, Stacy, if I can answer it, Larry. Stacy, we already answered it earlier. You must have just joined us. And I'll tell you something. It's easy peasy. Can you work a cell phone? You know what? You might have about a 20-minute learning curve. That's about it. We do this all the time with people. We have taught people how to use this from 12 years old up to 90 years old. So the reality is almost anybody can get this. Jane from Facebook, what success have you experienced with Lyme's disease? Okay. Larry.
Say that again. I got a phone call. Sorry. Go
It's
ahead.
okay. All right. What experience have you seen with Lyme's disease? Well, maybe your own story, but about hundreds of others too. All right.
Okay, Lyme disease is going to be a long haul, depending on how long you've had Lyme disease. If you've had it for 6 months, it's an easy knockout. There's there's some things you got to know. Like if you could do a DNA test, where you send your saliva in, you get your genome, you get your whole genetics and your propensities to things, then you can target nutrition, and that does work. And you target nutrition, then you add in PEMF. We have a story. Not me. It's a story from a doctor who said, my son had severe Lyme disease, couldn't even walk up the stairs. We figured out, we did the genome study on him, his millions of data points of his genomes, and they figured out the nutrition, and they just did that alone, and he got functional. And so I can safely say that people that have the right nutrition and do PEMF, or even just PEMF, can get functional again, depending on how long you've had it. If you had it for 10 to 20 years, it's going to be years before you get better. But you'll get, the pain will go away, fibromyalgia go, conditions can go away within weeks, but it's still going to be a long haul. You still got to go for maybe years of trying to, repair and regenerate. I mean, I'm writing a book on this because I almost died like 3 times, and the hospital almost killed me twice. So, and then last Thanksgiving I had E. coli, and it was hemorrhagic. I was bleeding to death inside. So, and so it's too much information, but I'm fine now, by the way. And some other things. I might have even had cancer, but I'm fine now. I had high PSA, high BPH, all better. PSA of 28 went to 4. So I'm in the range of being healthy there. I mean, this is like, I'm old. I'm like 95. No, I'm 66. So it's fun to joke, but it was very serious for me.
You felt 95. All right.
What?
So I said you felt like you were 95.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
here's Emily from Facebook. Please, if you would, share the differences between EMFs and PEMFs with your sentient element, Dr. Wolfe. Well, I'll let you do it, Larry. And then she's
Okay.
got a couple other questions here, buddy. Go ahead.
You want me to do it?
Why don't you? And then if I have something to say, I'll do it after. You go first, my friend.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
PMF is just they put a pulse in front of electromagnetic field. Okay, so um, I don't know what to say about that. It's a pulse,
Yeah, and
and
a healthy pulse when you're dealing with the sentient element. And when we talk about EMFs out there, everyone, usually we're talking about things that are actually tearing our cells down. When we talk about the PEMFs of the sentient element, we're talking about repairing. So one tears, one repairs, right?
yeah, so the EMF has a bad connotation. You think of power lines and cell phones and Bluetooth, and yeah, they can be bad. But the Earth field ranges are also EMF, and it's mostly in a magnetic field form. They're not in a wave that jumps off of the wire like an antenna. So it's less it's less of a problem with what I got to tell you about the hardware a little bit. We get the line power, and we split it into two phases, and we clean it up. We have an isolation transformer. So and we rectify that. If people know what a rectifier is, it just makes a smooth transition from AC to DC. Then the DC powers up this amp board that's really high tech. It's patentable. It's patented anyway. So what that does is we know you're getting a really clean signal to the coil, and it's not going to have any power line anomalies because it's already been isolated and filtered and gone through a whole lot of things. And it's I don't know where to be. We're doing blogs on this in the future.
Yeah, and you know what? All these videos will be up on our site for everybody to look at, and yeah, but yeah, you could take them down the rabbit hole. Also, will PEMF help calcified areas of the body?
Probably just the opposite. We've had people with bone spurs that the spurs or started going away and they're mostly gone.
Well, that's what
Still,
she asked. She asked if you could, if it would help decalcify.
yeah, it does. It smooths things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now go ahead. Is there more you'd like to say about it?
Oh, I thought you wanted to say more because
No.
I was like,
No, go ahead, my friend.
okay, so bone spurs, and you were talking about calcium issues. Like, what is the Widowmaker one? Isn't that calcification of a heart valve? I'm not sure.
That's
you know,
right.
You're the,
That's right.
so the Widowmaker one, what that would do is smooth that out. It would probably detox the calcium buildup there. And same with the knees. It just turns out that if you have Lyme or you're okay, I'm going to back. I keep wanting to back up. I have to back up because it's not going to make sense. So 100% of nearly 100% of thyroid issues are a result of a pathogen. Okay, I'm not saying that. This is what the studies show. Doctors.
That's right. And you know what? You're absolutely right. I mean, it's been proven.
So let's go back to calcium. Your thyroid, hyper or hypo, is regulating that calcium level, and you can tell your body to not absorb the calcium, and you get loose teeth, osteo problems. You know the story. You're the doctor. I'm not a doctor. I gotta say that I'm not a doctor. But the issue with that is if you can fix your endocrine system, and it's usually again like Bartonella. Bartonella is a big thyroid. It's like probably the most dangerous thing for your thyroid.
Yeah, but if I can say something, the biggest endocrine system in the body is actually your bones. People don't get that.
Right.
It's your bones. It's your bones, everyone. It's in the bones. Okay, Larry.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's all. I just want everybody to understand that, we talk thyroid, we talk adrenals, but actually a big part of the endocrine system is our bones, and we need to take care of those bones. And when we start decalcifying the bones, we're throwing everything out of whack when it comes to our endocrine system. All right?
Yeah. Let me say some symptoms about that. If you have something going on and you have loose teeth, you're tired, you might be hypo, whatever that word is, with your thyroid.
Yeah.
Thyroid. Okay, so you need to go to the doctor. And I almost died. This is one of the things I almost died of. Actually, that's a fourth one. Is my calcium was like 17, and the doctor said you could die any second. So they actually remove you have 4 of them. They actually removed the lower right one here, and the one above it was going out, and I put ice on it. That's how you can tell. If you get more energy, like almost instantly by icing it, you need that thyroid fixed, either removed or use PMF. And the one above was going out. I used PMF, and hey, all better. So there.
And if I can say something, everyone, it's like this. Okay, we deal with a lot of people that they are tired and they've got loose teeth, and believe it or not, you start cleansing that bowel out because gum problems are actually bum problems, and it's a bacterial nature. And then when you get on SAC calcium, everybody needs to check that out. You can check it out on in my library. Go to the SAC calcium guide, and you can watch the videos. But I'm talking about just in a few days to a few weeks, those teeth are going to be totally tight in your mouth, okay? And your thyroid is going to change, and it's going to change quickly. Because when you use ionic SAC calcium therapy and you clean out that bowel, you got to bring down the viral load, bring down the bacterial load, and we know the bowel's the king of that, and then throw in the SAC calcium and then do the PEMF. You're going to see this thing turn around real fast.
Well, kill the pathogen. That's the bottom line. And you got to learn to detox before you do that. But
Yeah, that's right. So here, how we do? How does the sentient element PEMF work with skin infections? With skin infections, there you go.
I could show you pictures right now, but they are gross. But it does work really
Okay.
well.
Belinda from Facebook. Larry, since I am very concerned about the possibility of mandatory vaccines for this coronavirus, I am already thinking about how to remove this from the body very quickly if there was a very specific. Okay, first of all, if I can say something, the humic and fulvic are going to help you with that, everybody. But Larry, can you tell her what maybe the element would do in
Yeah,
that
let's go.
case?
If the element's going to facilitate ionophores, okay, and ionophore is what creates the channel, so that zinc ZN2 plus can go through the channel, which kills the bacteria inside the cell. So we're all taking zinc. I think the zinc has been sold out in every store and off of Amazon. I bought some on Amazon a few weeks ago, and it was gone like in 2 days. What I bought, it says it'll be replenished, show back up in 2 weeks or whatever. And I don't even know. I mean, it's gone. It's gone from anywhere. The shelves are emptying of the products that could carry, like zinc lozenges. They were sold out right away. But the problem is zinc is not absorbing. And if you have a chronic condition, it doesn't absorb. So how do you make it absorb? You need an ionophore. Ionophores are, I'll give you two or three of them here. They can be quercetin, they can be CoQ10, and they can be quinine, which Trump talked about, which is in your water. Okay, quinine. So I'm going to show that again because I know I just did that, but it's and I'm probably now all the tonic water has gone out of the stores. So I bought my case of tonic water weeks ago because I knew this already. So we have I'm going to go back to a study that shows how you can facilitate these ionophores to go through the cell wall with PEMF. It's not rocket science. It's like I knew where bodies are chemoelectric. They actually work off of electricity, energy. It's everything's bioelectric. Everything has got a charge, and
We're
even
walking, talking batteries. That's what we are. And you know what? When you're no longer here, that's because you no longer have any electricity. And when you are vibrantly healthy and you feel like doing cartwheels, it's because your battery is full and your mitochondria are not sick, and you're generating tons of ATP and you've got lots of energy. I've got
what's
a. Go ahead.
what's interesting is you could do the typical PMF frequency of 10 hertz or even around there. It actually charges your body. It actually is going to give off biophotons. So you're giving off more light by using PMF. So go figure.
Go figure. So, anyways, we've got just came in here, and it's James. James asks, so I would like to purchase, well, maybe today, James, if not tomorrow, okay? By the time we get done the show, I'd like to purchase a sentient element. What will you do for training? Well, we'll actually go on with you on Skype, walk you through it. You'll have your manual, but we'll walk you through it, and then you can Skype us anytime you want. We're going to troubleshoot it for you. It's not about sell you the unit, James, and that's it. No, it's about training you so that you can train your family, your friends, and let everybody start using this thing. Okay?
And
That's the
I
reality.
I would like to add one more thing is I will do the research for you because when I do that, I'll take my time and I'll dig deep into it and find whatever condition you have. You could just go to Google Scholar or PubMed and you could type in PEMF, start with the keyword PEMF space polio, and you'll find the cure for polio using PEMF. This is where we're at. And what you go, why the hell aren't we doing? We could have been doing this decades ago, which includes cancer and a whole ton of things. So including Lyme.
If I can
So
say something, you know what? The same time that that the AMA, the American Medical Association, went out and closed down 110 herbal colleges and acupuncture and chiropractic and everything that had to do with natural. The same time that they went out and did a book burning and destruction on any energy medicine equipment, and they tried to make it look like quackery. So that's why this happened. I mean, just think about it. Back in 1910, we were already using energy medicine equipment and doing amazing things, and then pharma came in and they just destroyed the whole natural health industry. End of story. Lori, with PSA problems, what specific frequency do you use?
what problems?
PSA. So your
Oh,
PSA is high. You just
okay.
mentioned it, so she just sent you in a
Yeah.
message.
Yeah, there's some studies. There's some animals. There's a really good dog study, and I can tell you what this is about. They've successfully shrunk the prostate within just a few. I think it was 4 weeks, but they did it. They shrunk it by 79%. I think the study says, and it's a very low frequency, like 8 hertz. So they did it again. It was kind of a sweep. They did it from a range from 6 hertz up to 14, I believe it is, and prostate starts shrinking. And what it does, it brings in. You basically have to sit on the coil, and it brings more circulation there, and you're detoxing. And I have to say that a lot of these things are pathogens, just like the thyroid, the prostate. The tests are flawed, and I can say that because I've experienced it, and I can say the tests are flawed, and it's out there. If you have Lyme disease, you know they're flawed. And Bartonella is really small. It lives inside the cells like a virus. And the tests for it are extremely flawed. I think a lot of prostate issues are probably Bartonella related. I know mine was Lyme and Bartonella quintana, which is like a trench foot thing that they had in World War One. But I got that. And either was in the tick bite or got scratched by a cat. But I had severe Lyme and a form of Bartonella. By the way, 80% of the cattle have some form of Bartonella, and a lot of cows have brucella, which is another zoonotic disease that leads to, like if you drink raw milk when you're young, it leads to Parkinson's later on. So, and it's all curable. That's the thing. MS curable, ALS curable. It's all curable. How come Stephen Hawking's lived to be like 57 additional years with his ALS? What's going on there? Nobody's like questioning. Wake up! Somebody wake the masses up. Hopefully, we'll go through a great awakening. Anyway, I'll shut up.
No, no, you don't need to. You're doing great, my friend. Thank you very much. Um, right here, Larry. How come the sentient element is so inexpensive compared to other devices? I think we talked about that already. He's just not greedy, and I'm going to speak for him. He's not greedy, and either is the Doc of Detox. And we need to get these one in every home for sure. And that's what we want to really attempt to do, and that's why we're going to do this. Ryan from Facebook. Dr. Wolfe, how can we get more information? Okay, I already said it earlier, everyone. You can just go to my library, and when you go to the library, you go into the library, click on the Energy Medicine Guide, and then you will find the Sentient Element Guide and the videos from today and yesterday inside the guide, or you can just click on the link up here and you can download the manual if you want to take a look at that. And like I said already, 4 weeks from today, we'll have Larry back here, okay? And it'll be for a Q&A. We'll collect the questions, all right? And like I said, if we find that there's a lot of people with a lot more questions than we can handle and we need to do it sooner, then he'll come on sooner, okay? So we'll start collecting the questions. Once we got about maybe 30 questions or something like that, we might even have him on sooner, but you'll notice it because we'll have it on a banner and it'll be on Doc of Detox show and we'll give everybody lots of notice, okay? Rhonda, can you reverse scleroderma?
That a skin thing? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a skin thing, and it's actually a bug thing. Okay, all right. So
I wish I could show you pictures, but they're kind of gross and they're kind of personal with someone else. But yeah, I just completely took care of the skin issue. I don't know what they had, but I'm probably gonna say probably we can take the PMF can take care of it. You might have to do your own research. Go to Google Scholar, which is scholar.google.com or pubmed.gov, and type in PMF space, whatever the skin condition is, and you're going to find something.
You're going to find scleroderma, and then what you're going to do is you're probably going to find the frequency to match it. So
yeah,
it's out there. It's out there.
You're going to find it.
Now, okay. Dr. Wolfe, do you have a training manual? You know, people must be just coming on the show. Dr. Wolfe, do you have a training manual? Yes, we do. If you just take a look here up, you'll see you can just click on the link and it'll take you to the training manual. Or you can just go to the library and which you'll see on the front page of Doc of Detox. And then I feel like a robot repeating myself. And just click on the Energy Medicine Guide and you'll find the Sentient Element Guide inside plus the videos. Belinda from Facebook, thank you, Dr. Wolfe and Larry, for this very interesting information. I'm really interested in working on getting rid of the biofilm around the organs. I would like to know how to start utilizing the protocol for healing. Do you think this would also work on removing the residual effects of vaccines out of the body? There you go, Larry. So it's kind of two things. That's two things, Larry.
I think naturally you detox that unless you have some actual metal from it. I don't know how thimerosal that's in vaccines, I don't know how that turns to metal. You can have an ion of mercury, but it's not mercury. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I mean, a good example is salt. We can't live without it, but elemental sodium would kill you and elemental potassium would kill you. So they're ion form an ion, and you could have even you could have lead ions even, and it's not harmful. So I don't know really how to answer that because I have to look at this more. All I know is if your body naturally is going to take care of itself, clean the blood, run the blood sweep, eat right. There's products that detox heavy metals if that's the issue here. Because
yeah, like Fulvic does it. Fulvic's the best chelator in the world.
Cilantro can detox heavy metals. Zeolite used to be popular. I don't know if that.
No, Fulvic will do heavy metals better than zeolite will ever do. So Fulvic's the best chelator in the world.
Okay.
So we're at the end of our questions here. So Larry, what would you like to tell people that you believe that they should know about your sentient element? Anything that we haven't covered with the questions?
Well, I could talk a long time about it. I wanted to show this one little chart here. If you can see that. Show at the very bottom, it says use EMF or PEMF to get the zinc through the cell wall. Look at the white bar. It goes super high, and the control is the black. Just try to consider that PEMF can actually maybe maybe actually cure. That's all I'm going to say. We don't know yet. It's all in vitro, so we're getting evidence of it. We have big data that shows that it does work, but there's a lot of work to do.
Absolutely. Okay, so I had someone here. This is the last one we'll take. So I do not have a smartphone. Well, guess what, everyone? I want to tell you something. And this is what we've done for everyone that comes and gets a sentient element. You don't have to buy a smartphone, but you could buy like an iPhone 4, 6, 5, 6, 7. They're inexpensive, $50. And
Well,
then you could use an iPhone or an iPad, right, Larry?
yeah, I recommend you just go on Amazon and buy a used one with low memory. It'll be like $100. Go buy that iPad and just dedicate it on a station where you're going to go to every twice a day, and just a chair in the corner, and have that thing hooked up permanently so you don't have to keep hooking stuff up. And if you have kids, you're going to have to put it in an area where the kids can't mess with it, because they actually have undone these. Kids like to screw these off and lose them. So and they're on pretty tight. I don't know how kids can undo stuff, but it's just great. Get an iPhone, iPad, and just dedicate, because bigger screen, you can actually just see it better. If you're baked with lime,
If you're baked with lime, there you go.
baked, yeah.
Yeah, lime, there you go. Anyway, so Larry, what would you like to leave everybody with?
If I were to do this all over again for Lyme, I wouldn't change a thing, because I have learned so much along the way. I've seen so many cases. We have endless testimonials, unsolicited testimonials, both email, texting, just unsolicited things, and it's working. And it's the new medicine.
It is a new medicine. Yep. And understand something. If it can get rid of limes, then what can't it get rid of? So understand, because Larry's so passionate about limes, understand something. It still works on everything from A to Z. Okay? It's just that, you know what? I got to tell you something. And he should be proud of it. I would be too. I mean, his device is getting rid of limes more efficiently than any other device. So, you know, that's something to be proud of. But the reality is, if it can work on limes, it can work on A to Z. Right, Larry?
Absolutely. I'm going skiing. Hey, screw the medical industry. If the only insurance I want to get is accidental, because I know how to take care of everything else.
Very good. All right. Well, Larry's going to be back here, everyone. No longer than 4 weeks. If we find that there's lots of people with lots of questions, I'll give everybody notice on maybe a week's notice, and then I'll say, okay, if you've got questions, we're going to be on this date, and then, because it could change, because, you know, we need to stay flexible, and I'll tell you why we need to stay flexible, because this is your show, everybody, and if you want to see something, and there's enough people saying we want to see it, we're going to wait for 4 weeks. We're going to bring them on sooner to make sure you get your questions answered. Larry, anything you want to add before we close off for today?
I'm good. I got lots to do.
I know you do. I know you do. You're the man of the hour today, that's for sure. And I want to thank you, Larry, for and that, just like I think it was Veronica said here, why is your device so inexpensive? Well, because, okay, just because he wants to make a difference, and he could make it a lot more expensive, couldn't you, Larry?
And it would still sell.
That's right. But anyways, the question. The answer is, we'd like to get it into everybody's home, and we'd like to get everybody using it. So,
I do have one thing to add. I want to add something.
All right, Larry.
It's a little bit off topic, but this same unit you could run your car on water. We're going to make a kit when enough of these get out there. I say, here's the kit, and it'll generate hydrogen on the fly to run your car on water. There you go.
There you go. So
actually, HHO gas. So you can Google all that. Go look at the YouTube videos about how people are blowing up their lawnmowers with doing that. It's very dangerous, but we can generate it on the fly, so it's not a bomb. So it's just a cool thing. This is what we can do. Your gas pedal is like the voltage.
All right. So you're a brainiac. Gotta love it. Thanks, Larry, for joining me today, and everybody else, I want to thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show, okay? Because this is your show. This is your life. And you know what? Question authority, question Larry, question me, and understand something. When we say that once you start working with us, that we are going to be there to support you, you have to understand that we have a phone. It's an 800 number. You can call us. You can put your questions in on intercom. You can come live on Q&As. You know what? There's no reason to be shy here. And understand something. Our time is your time, okay? And it's your time to get really healthy, all right? So thank you again, Larry. And everybody, I want to thank everybody for watching. You can join me, okay, this coming Monday, all right? And I will be doing my Q&A like usual. You can ask any question you want on nutrition or detox or anything else, all right? So today's Thursday. Now, tomorrow I was supposed to do the clapping for the lungs, and we decided we're going to move that till next Friday, okay? Once everything calms down, because there's a lot of people that actually emailed in and texted in and said that they want to be on, they want to see it. Well, it's still going on Facebook, but I'm going to be actually taking questions after I do the clapping of the lungs, okay? So anyways, I've put it off, and we're going to be doing it next Friday, and it'll be up about 3 o'clock, correct? 3 o'clock next Friday, right? And then next week, that's a week from tomorrow. So, but next week, Monday will be my Q&A, and then on Wednesday, we're going to have Joshua Flint. He's the alchemist who does our ATP, our Divine Vine, and our pineal. And we're going to tell you and show you why we have the only organic ATP in the world and how it affects your cells and helps to heal your mitochondria in specific parts of the body and how it works on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we're going to go through everything humic and fulvic for you. Answer all your questions about how the humic balances hormones, how it can encapsulate viruses. We're going to talk about how fulvic is the best chelator in the world and the best hydrator to the cells. And then on that'll be Wednesday. So we're doing it on what is it now? It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? So Tuesday we'll be doing ATP and immunity. Thursday it'll be everything about humic and fulvic. Tuesday it'll be everything about, it'll be ATP and immunity. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday it'll be everything about humic and fulvic. And then on Thursday we're doing a Q&A. So write your questions down, send your questions in, and we'll be here to answer them all. Thank you very much again for joining us. And don't forget that all our shows, okay, when watching YouTube, don't forget to subscribe below and make sure you click on the bell to enable notifications so that you never miss a show. All our shows are time-stamped. So every question that came on today with Larry is going to be time-stamped, and it'll be up in YouTube one day after. So by tomorrow, same time, everything will be up there, timestamped for you in YouTube, okay? Also, if you wish to listen to any audio version of any of our shows, you can find them on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Again, thank you, Larry Langdon, and all my listeners who make this show possible. God bless everyone. And don't forget, it's time to take your power back, increase your frequency, and send those parasites packing. Have a beautiful day. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.